Hi librarians, this is Kristin Cashore, and I'm here to read the first chapter of my new book, Seasparrow, to you. Seasparrow comes out on November 1st, 2022, and I just want to thank the Baker & Taylor's Children and Teen Services team for asking me to do this. Okay, part 1, chapter 1 of Seasparrow. If you could eavesdrop without anyone knowing, if you could turn yourself into a barrel or a coil of lines or a clump of canvas on deck where two people are standing together, whispering secrets to each other, are you sure you wouldn't? Eavesdrop, I wonder where that word comes from. Did people used to climb into the eaves of a house and snoop on conversations? Then drop? Then what, yell surprise and watch people jump and throw their papers around? That would be funny. I've never done that. I asked Gideon his opinion, but he had no ideas about eavesdrop. He said he's fond of the word snowdrop, and he's right, it's a good word. It snows almost every day now here at sea, so it's nice to imagine white petals drifting down onto my face, but it doesn't help me with eavesdrop. He said it aloud, snowdrop, as we stood on the foredeck of the Monsea, where the plunge of the prow into each wave is more extreme than anywhere else on the ship. I like it there on the foredeck. It feels like exciting things are going to happen. Then he said, foxglove, that's a nice word too. Moonflower, he added, staring across the gray water like he was having a revelation. Gideon is big and tall and handsome in a noble sort of way, with a neat dark beard and pale skin like mine, and he has a fire inside him that he reserves for Bitterblue. I could see him mentally picking a bouquet for her. Larkspur, he said, so I said skunk cabbage because I was getting tired of Gideon. Skunk cabbage, he said, turning a look of indignation upon me. Of course not. Impatience, I said significantly, but he wandered down to the main deck with a dreamy expression on his face, and I wished, as I've wished many times, that Gideon and Bitterblue, who's the Queen of Monsea and secretly my half-sister, would confess their newfound romantic relationship to me. I'm not stupid. I'm a spy. It's my job to figure things out. And she's my family, even if hardly anyone knows that. They should tell me. I'll ask Teddy about eavesdrop when we get home. Teddy's part of Bitterblue's Ministry of Education. He's clever with words, cleverer than Gideon. My mother once told me in a moment of lucidity to keep a list of cherished qualities I would like in a friend. I never have. It's not like people line up for me to choose from with their qualities listed on their chests. But if I did keep a list, maybe clever with words would be on it. Not that Gideon lacks good qualities. He would tear off the head of anyone who hurt my sister. I used to jump out and surprise my mother, actually, now that I consider it. I would hide myself from her, then make myself visible suddenly, reach for her, arms outstretched, laughing. One time when I did that, she screamed in such terror that the king, my father, came running. So I hid quickly and never did that again. It wasn't safe to startle my mother. Too often she wasn't in her strong mind. Anyway, my point is, I don't have to climb into the eaves to eavesdrop. I can stand right in front of you, plain as plain, do a trick on your brain, and you see something else. It's my grace. Are you in a room now? Look around. I could be right there, and your eyes slide over me and see a coat on a hook instead, or a potted tree that you would realize is vaguely person-shaped if you only looked harder, but you won't. Is there some part of the room that's especially boring to you, some corner you don't seem to want to focus on? That could be me. It's not your fault. I'm discouraging your attention and changing what you think you see. Anyway, it was just an example. I wouldn't do it as a trick. In fact, I'm not supposed to do it at all, not without Bitterblue's permission, and only on official Queen's business. Of course, seeing as I'm a spy, one could argue that I'm always on official Queen's business. It's my job to keep her safe. I do that by hiding and snooping, by not trusting people, and by having adventures. I've sailed to the other side of the world and crossed the sky in a flying machine. I've talked to silver cows in the sea and pulled a pin that made a bomb explode. I've stolen formulas for weapons that will make my sister powerful. I've been to Winterkeep, and now we're going home again. So that's the first chapter of Seasparrow. Thank you so much for tuning in, and happy reading.